Inside Studio 12, another baseball conversation with Michael Barash and his guest. Today we have with us Nick Banks from the Outfield. Texas A&M baseball on Friday night starts a all-important series with the Fresno State Bulldogs. These are two teams, A&M and Fresno State, that already have reached double-digit wins on the season. Not a lot of teams in college baseball can say that at this point. But, gentlemen, thanks for taking the time. You got a little rest on Wednesday. You're supposed to play a two-game midweek series against Northwestern State on rain days. I mean, obviously, this game was called about a couple hours before first pitch was scheduled. Michael, on rain days, how do you handle it? I mean, you're trying to stay focused, but at the same time, you don't even know if you're going to get out there between the lines.
Yeah, just go out there and you got to stick with your routine. I mean, until someone tells you can't play, that's when you stop. But, we had a good pregame meal. We got after it in the cages, and then Coach Bolton, Coach Seeley came in and gave us news that we weren't playing. So we got a lot of swings in the cage, good quality swings to prepare for this weekend.
And, Nick, when you wake up on a day it's raining, it's not ideal baseball conditions. What's the worst-case scenario for you? I mean, I'm assuming when you wake up you want to know it's called immediately.
Every day you're wanting to play baseball, and when it's one of those rainy days, it's kind of a bummer because you don't know if you're going to get it in. But then again, you know that today's the most important day of the year, and so that's kind of the mindset you got to go into it when you get to the field. And that's what we did, just in our normal routine, and just took it from there.
You guys were coming off a Tuesday win over Northwestern State and a one-run game where you got to give them credit. They came back after getting A&M got a 7-2 lead, and usually it's lockdown time with this pitching staff, but you got to give Northwestern State some credit, Michael. They fought back, and it's kind of nice when you can get that win late by a run. It only helps considering the schedule you guys will play here in the future.
Yeah, Northwestern State, they're a good team. Mm-hmm. They're really well coached. They can really hit the baseball, play solid defense, and they're just a well coached, well all around team. And that's something else that we can draw back on. That's something that we know that we can get a big league, and our bullpen will shut it down. Mm-hmm. It got a little sticky towards the end, but Hendricks just did what he did and got us out of the game.
I got to ask you about the last play, the carom off the brick wall.
Yeah, we practiced that. No. But that was probably I think one of the coolest plays I've ever had catching.
Yeah.
I don't know how it happened. I just went through the 5-hole, luckily got a good bounce, and reaction was barehanded. Just get rid of it and get us off the field.
Yeah, and I'm wondering how well you could see it coming back at you, because once you turn around, the ball's already hit the bricks and firing straight back. I mean, all you had time was a bare hand. And
it just, just the way it worked out. Just stuck my hand up there. Luckily, got a good grip on the ball, a little wet, but Melton hooked me up with a good play at first. I know the throw wasn't the greatest throws and almost hit the runner, and, Melton saved me. So
yeah. Nick, when you see this unfold in right field, do you cringe a little bit?
No, because, you start kind of getting those butterflies a little bit, they're making a run and stuff. But, with our team, there's never a doubt in my mind that we're going to lose, and especially when you have Hendricks on the mound, you feel a little bit more relaxed with him on the mound just because he has lights out stuff and he can put anyone away. And I think he rises to the occasion when the occasion gets tough.
Was Tuesday proof of that, Nick? Because maybe he didn't have his best stuff, yet he nailed it down anyway in a one-run contest.
Yeah, he wasn't throwing as many strikes as he usually does, but he finds a way, and that's what great pitchers do.
Mm-hmm. And then the other one, when you got to close the game, Michael, is Mark Ecker. This whole almost project that Rob Childress is using, he mentioned before the year, he's never had this, two guys to close a game. Probably won't see it like this ever again. That's just how talented these two guys are. What about Mark Ecker and this whole co-closers? What's it look like from your angle behind the plate? And I would assume when you're 12-1, it's going pretty well.
Yeah, Ecker's a great pitcher, and he hasn't gotten as many innings just because that just the rotation it works out to be is it's just Hendricks' turn. And anytime any of our pitchers go out there to pitch, I know they're going to do the job, and they're going to get the job done to get us out of the game and get us out of a jam if we need to. And our bullpen shortens the game. Mm-hmm. I've said that from the get-go, and it's proved that this year where, our pitchers just shut down opposing hitters and make the pitches when they need to make big pitches.
Mm-hmm. Nick, with you, had a little back issue after the first few games, set out for 5 of them. You've come back, and looking at the numbers, you've hit safely in every game since you've come back. Do you feel the back issues are truly behind you, as healthy as you've been in a while?
Yeah, they have been. Our new trainer, Dallas, he's really got me in to a position to play a lot quicker than we actually thought. Rehabbing and all that stuff. So I was really glad to be back last weekend to play against Yale and move forward.
Frustrating to sit out when you have to take a seat for a few games?
I would say it's a little frustrating not being able to be with my teammates, not knowing I can't be out there to help them. But then again, there's always guys behind us on the bench that can just do the same amount of job, and I'd rather have a complete 100% healthy person playing in my position than my 85, 90%. So
yeah, and you mentioned the Yale series, and that's something we're going to get to here in just a second. But just continuing with what you said, you spoke along the lines of the depth of this team, and since you started the year in center field. After sitting out and coming back, you go back to what you used to do, the right field position. Nick Chorby in center, J.B. Mawson left a lot of nights. The other outfielders, Nick and J.B., I mean, they're just playing so well at the top of that lineup right now, aren't they? I mean, how nice is it to see them go at it the way they're going at the moment?
No, it's awesome, especially for Chorby. Chorby's worked really hard his 3 years that he's been here, and he's making the most out of his opportunity, and it's really cool to see that, especially since me and him have been really good friends since he's been on campus and we're roommates. So it's always good to see him play really well and do what he does. And then JB again, he's a senior, and he's playing like a senior, and that's what you can ask for, and it's really fun watching those two play.
And, Michael, I want to ask you about a guy on the infield, continuing to talk about your teammates here. Hunter Melton impresses me, one, because a bigger guy, people may think when he comes to the plate, this is a power hitter. But, man, it seems like he can go opposite field with a ground ball through the right side anytime he wants. I mean, in the cleanup spot, he's been as impressive as anybody in the lineup.
Melton's done – his adjustment from last year to this year has been day and night. I mean, he's really bought into what Coach Bolt has preached to him. And his mechanics from the Super Regional last year to now are two totally different swings. And he's keeping his body over the ball. And he's not getting – he's hitting the pitch he wants to hit. He's leaving the pitches he doesn't want to hit. And it's so much fun hitting behind him and hitting behind Banks here. And they set up big innings. And that's what the middle lineup's supposed to do. And Melton's done an awesome job just staying over the baseball and putting his best swing on the ball every time.
All right. And now we get to it. We'll talk about Fresno State in a minute, but like I mentioned, you got to get back to that Yale series this weekend because, I mean, Saturday was as special an afternoon at Bluebell Park as anybody is going to see. We all witnessed it. You guys got to go through it. Just when you saw George Bush, 41st President of the United States, when he arrived in the park, he went by the Yale dugout first and kind of gave them high fives. But just your reaction knowing you were in the presence of a president about to play a ball game with him witnessing it in the stands.
It was special. That's something you'll never forget. I mean, that's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. I mean, 41st President of the United States. I mean, it's special wearing these awesome new uniforms and all this gear, and there's a different buzz in the crowd. You can tell people are excited to see him, and it was cool to just see him walk out there. You know, that's a figurehead of this country, and it was really awesome to be a part of it.
And did anybody try to have any kind of conversation with him? Because I know everybody shook his hand essentially after that big group photo was done, but I mean, when you shook his hand, Nick, did you have any words for him, or were you just in awe?
I mean, pretty much just in awe. I just said, "Thank you, sir," and walked off. I mean, it kind of just hit. It kind of just hits you like right when you shake his hand. Like, I mean, I'm talking to a figurehead of this country. I mean, it was right when he was carted in. I mean, the chills just went straight through my body, and I mean, I've never really had that feeling before, and I mean, I'm sure it even hit me harder when I'm older.
Yeah. And I thought the uniforms were great. Like you mentioned, the red, white, and blue was fantastic. And getting back to George Bush here in a moment, though, but we said on the broadcast, Nick, it's not the first time you wore red, white, and blue. Just discuss your Team USA experience with us for the last couple of years and what that did for you, and quite frankly, getting to represent this nation wearing that uniform the last 2 summers.
Yeah, I mean, the main thing is it has matured me into a better man. It's made me grown up a lot. Being able to be around different coaches and different players that are, I mean, at the high, like at the elite level, and guys that are going in the first round, and they make you a better ball player, and I mean, it makes you a better man, it makes you mature a lot, and really not take things for granted, especially when we went to Cuba and went to the Netherlands. We're really spoiled in America, and
Yeah.
I mean, it's really humbling.
Yeah, well, Michael, maybe Nick should have whispered that to the president, say, hey, play for Team USA.
Yeah, he should have. Got him. Yeah, right.
Exactly. But I think one of the images people are enamored with at this point from Saturday was, George Bush threw out a first pitch to a Yale catcher, and then he threw out one to an A&M catcher, which was Stephen Kolick. But both teams posed for a picture. But then the group one. A&M did it individually as a team. Yale did it individually as a team. But then everybody got together, A&M and Yale, with the president, 2 schools that mean a lot to him, obviously. And I think you guys mentioned before we got started here, that photo is finally started to get to you guys and something you can display probably for the rest of your lives.
Yeah, at that point, it's bigger than baseball. You know what I mean? That's a moment that's bigger than baseball. It's bigger than ourselves. And, Coach Childress wanted to make it special for both teams and get a picture with both teams. And I think it's awesome that we did that. That's something that we'll never forget for the rest of our lives. It was absolutely incredible what we got to experience.
Yeah, and now you guys, like I said, the uniform, the red, white, and blue, fantastic. But I think you also got to give props to Yale, what they wore that day, Nick.
Yeah,
that was pretty
sweet.
incredible. The throwback's kind of what George Bush wore that day. When you saw their uniform, did you kind of say, man, that's pretty cool, too?
Yeah, I've always used to just mess around with Coach Childress saying we should get some old school ones like that. But
Yeah.
I don't know if that'll ever happen, but yeah, it was. I mean, I still think our uniforms were better.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it was
Yale's were really sweet.
2 of the best uniforms I've seen in a long time. I mean, and it just happened on the same day in front of the president, made it all that more special. But I'm in support of a throwback day too. I want to see you guys in the high knees and stuff with almost the little mini beanie cap with just a T on it.
That'd be sweet.
And it says in cursive the Texas Aggies across the chest. I mean, we need a little throwback day like that, don't we?
I think that'd be sweet.
Yeah.
We've been pushing for it. I know some of the older guys went up to Coach Seeley and Coach Hutch, and we went up to them and said, "Hey, man, I think that'd be a sweet uniform to have. A lot of fans would like it. I know we would love it, and it'd be awesome to have."
Yeah, and you guys really spun the color wheel in the Yale series because you had the maroons on Friday, the red, white, and blue Saturday. Then you go to the black again, looking for the sweep. Second year in a row, Nick. It's the black option when you're trying to sweep a series. Is that something the team wanted before the year, went back to coach and said, look, we want to do that again when we're trying to sweep? And is there that much affection for those black tops on Sundays?
I mean, we know if we get those first 2 wins that we're looking forward to blacking it out. And ever since they unveiled those new uniforms last year, I think it's kind of been that's what we want to wear on Sunday, and so we just kept rolling with it. So I mean, I love the black uniforms. I think it's a really good look, and I mean, we're just ready to take care of business on Sunday.
Yeah, and you'll look to wear them again this weekend against Fresno State. But Michael, this is a good ball club. I mean, you've looked at what they ran off 11 straight to start the year, and even their last 2 losses are just by single runs. So obviously your work cut out for you these next 3 days on Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Fresno State.
Yeah, they're like I said before, they're going to be a good team. They're going to be well coached. They're going to take care of the baseball. They got a really good pitching staff, and that's going to be a good test for our offense. And we're gonna get after it. We're gonna throw the punch. We're gonna be the aggressors, and we're just gonna have a lot of fun while we do it.
Yeah, and Nick, I know you guys get a scouting report. I mean, every player has it before you start a series. On paper, you'll know a lot about these Fresno State guys, but in the end, I mean, is it really – do you dig into it too much knowing that, look, we have to play Aggie baseball before worrying about what's printed about a Fresno State player?
Yeah, I mean, for me, I mean, the main thing I usually look at is I'll look at velo, and then that's it. I try not to dig in too much. I mean, pitchers are pitchers. They're going to try and get you out either ways. But, I mean, you have to go up knowing that you're going to be better than that guy when you step up to the plate. And, I mean, when you look into it too much, you start overthinking, and then you're done. You can't think when you're hitting. You just got to be ready and, just get after it.
All right. Well, gentlemen, we'll be out there Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Aggies and Bulldogs should be an excellent series. And not to overlook anything, there's that next Tuesday midweek game that a lot of people know who that's against. But we'll get there when it's all appropriate. But good luck this weekend against the Bulldogs, guys. Thanks so much for the time.
Thanks for having us.